Kelly and Gavin are in the US, but they have left us a short message for us, which we will now display on the TV screens.
Hello everyone. I apologize for not being here today, as I'm in the US helping my brother out at the US Juniors and doing some tweaks with my coach, Chris O'Connell. I'm very happy to make the Olympics as I secured the last spot, 60th. Now thank Tun for helping me out, helping all the AAT events. Without him, it's impossible to got this far. Thank you.
Expressing my thanks to everyone. First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone's present, including all Malaysian media, for their contribution to golf in Malaysia. My very special thanks goes to Tun Ahmad Saji, whose vision and passion for golf in Malaysia is limitless. And to UMW, thank you for giving us a chance to compete on the international stage by supporting us financially. And to our Olympic Council, its Chairman Tunku Imran, we're all very happy to see that golf is in the Olympic, so I thank you for all the work that you've put into planning. And to MST Golf, your company has done a lot of growing of the game for Malaysia, and I really thank you for that. And last but not least, to my fellow Olympians, congratulations to Danny, Gavin, and Michelle. Let's do Malaysia proud, and I'll see all of you in Rio. See you guys. Bye.
Yang Amat Mulia Tunku Tantri Imran, President of the Olympic Council. Yang Amat Berbahagia Tun Ahmad Saji bin Abdul Hamid, the Chairman of PGM. Yang Berbahagia Tantri Azmat Kamaluddin, the Chairman of UMW. To our Olympians here today, to Danny Chia, to Michelle Koh, Tantri, Datu, members of the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for making time this morning to come to KLGCC. I see a few red eyes in the audience. It was a late night last night for those of you that watched the British Open, and to Mr. Stenson for winning. Fantastic. MST Group of companies comprising MST Golf and Sports Direct is very proud to be associated with the development of amateur and professional sport in this country. We actively support in the development of many sports, including soccer, badminton, swimming, outdoor fitness, and of course golf. For children around the world, engaging sport in the backyard, on the street, at school level, at club level, there is always that dream to become and emulate their sporting heroes. Tun Ahmad Saji has single-handedly created an opportunity for young golfers to compete at the professional level on our domestic tour, then further realised the significance of nurturing the most talented to realise their absolute potential at international level. With his vision and persuasion, the number of ADT tournaments which carry valuable world ranking points have significantly increased, and a programme put in place to help fund the travel, technical, mental and physical conditioning required for these athletes to excel. A number of our best golfers are here with us today and continue to benefit from this opportunity. Tun has also embraced the support of our best female athletes, and with incredible enthusiasm and self-drive continues to mull additional ways to further grow the game of golf on behalf of everybody and at every level with which it's played. Tun, thank you on behalf of everyone here today. MST Golf is proud to have played a role in the development in the support to the Road to the Olympics and the LPGA development programs over the past few years. And today, congratulate and salute our 4 Malaysian Olympians, Danny Chia and Michelle Koh with us, and Gavin Green and Kelly Tan, who you've just heard from. There can be no greater accolade than for a sportsman or woman to represent their country at international level. The pinnacle of which must surely be as an Olympian. With a TV audience of over 900 million at the last British Olympics opening ceremony, it must surely be a thrilling moment for each of you to walk out on behalf of your country and yourselves, take a deep breath, enjoy the moment, and know that you make your country very proud that you have made it to Rio, and take lots of pictures. I would like to take a moment to acknowledge the tremendous support of UMW and Sime Darby while we're here at KLGCC, who have been unwavering in their support of men's and women's professional golf and development programs, respectively. It seems only yesterday, yet already 3 years ago, when the idea of a Road to Olympics program was mooted and we presented to UMW, who immediately saw the value in giving back to a very structured initiative for professional athletes who wanted to achieve their very best in their given sport. Tantri Asmat, thank you very much to you and your staff at UMW for your continued support. MST Golf Academy is also proud to again manage the 7th year of the LPGA Development Programme for talented female athletes, which in conjunction with the Sime Darby LPGA Malaysia has produced one professional golfer in each of the last 6 years. Collectively known as the Angels, and now Kelly Tan leads the way as a full member of the LPGA Tour. Most in this room have a love of participating or work-related affiliations with the sport. I'm sure Tantri Mega, as an example, prefers the course to the boardroom. It must therefore be commended that those working to have golf reinstated as an Olympic sport do so with the primary thought of growing the game globally. While the media has spoken much about the withdrawals of some of the marquee names, almost all believe it to be in the best interest of the sport, with even those players not present in Rio pledging participation if picked for Japan in 2020 and beyond. Finally, in closing, some sincere thanks to Dean Hartman in his absence, who spearheaded this Olympic program and has since moved back to America after a decade with the Academy. To Tunku Imran for his absolute and unwavering backing of everything sport in the country. And to all the corporate leaders for your engagement and energy to exploit every opportunity to get our youth into sport. There can be no better way to instill discipline, integrity, fair play, team spirit, and character building into the future generations of Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Very good morning. Yang Mulia Tunku Tan Sri Imran, President Olympic Council of Malaysia. Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Asmat, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, on behalf of PGM, I would like to thank particularly Yang Mulia Tunku Tan Sri Imran, President of the Olympic Council, for gracing this occasion. I cannot stop thanking Tunku Tan Sri Imran for electing me to be the chair de mission to the 2012 Olympics, and I was so proud to be the chair de mission. And I'm quite sure if you are an Olympian, you'll be more proud than the chair de mission. So imbued by that spirit, when PGM was formed in the year 2010, at that time, there was a lot of negotiation on the entry of golf as a sport in the Olympics in Korea. It has been a hiatus of more than 100 years. But I was fully convinced that golf would be an Olympic sport. So when PGM was formed, I quickly got in touch with Sheila Han, the chairman of Asian Tour, and asked for his advice. How do I put value into PGM and professional golf in Malaysia? he had just one answer to my question, and that is, would you be prepared to host ADT events, Asian Developmental Events, which I did, of course. The initial years of the formation of PGM, there were a few events in year 2011, 2012, but we picked up in the years 2013, 2014, and 2015, particularly on my urging Sheila Han that you should seek world ranking points for the winners of ADT events. Now, I remember that my good friend is here, Irfan, worked very hard with Sheila Han and secured world ranking points for ADT events. And thanks to the sponsors who are here today, members, the representatives are here, SANDAB, Land Banking, CCM, MNRB, of course UMW, and a few others. I persuaded them to be title sponsors for ADT events, which they did since the inception of PGM. And when God was inducted into as a sports in the Olympics, we organized more ADT events than any other Asian country in Asia. So much so that when I was in Liverpool presenting our case to be a member of the International Federation of PGAs, the PGM was dubbed as the fastest growing tour in the world. And thanks to Asian Tour in particular for allowing PGM to host the largest number of PGM events in Asia. And this would not be possible without the help of our sponsors. So we started in earnest preparing our Olympians, qualify for the Olympics. We studied the qualifications for entry into the Olympics, and I contacted Yang Bahagia Tan Sri Asmat on the program, Road to Olympics, and thank you Tan Sri for providing the funds for this program. And of course, the role of MST is already legendary in as far as training is concerned. For we chose no other partner than MST, and we had a good working relationship on the inauguration of PGM Academy at Kimrara. So the program started 2014 and 2015, 2016. We selected 12 of our top golfers. After that, we added Wilson Chu, becoming 13. And they have been subject to a lot of training and coaching by MST master coaches. And we continue to host many ADT events, and history speaks for itself. I do not want to belabor on how many events we have, how much money, prize money, but from the statistics that I have before me here, the most of the points collected by Danny Chia and Gavin were as a result of they coming on top in the ADT events and qualifying for world ranking. Although, of course, I know Danny won one Asian Tour event and Gavin won one ADT event outside the country. But most of the points they earned through PGM sponsored ADT events. And as a result of this program, the 13 golfers burst into the world ranking points. I do not want here to belabor also what are the positions, but then Danny and Gavin made it to the top. Then came the ladies. One day I met Michelle. accident at the coffee house there. She recognized me and she asked me to go for some help for the lady golfers. I said, yes, you should have come earlier to me. 2 years before this, I would have given the full subsidies. But I immediately agreed to it and my board agreed. And I must say, you played a minimal role in your qualification for the Olympics. But we are very happy to be associated with you, and starting from March this year, we reimburse the expenses that you incur on your way to the qualification for the Olympics. I'm very proud of Danny, Gavin, and Kelly and Michelle Ross. I followed the progress of Danny, Gavin, and Gavin was very sorry they could not make it here. He saw me 2 days ago with his father. He's so dedicated. He's gone to US to get some coaching from his coach. He's flying from there direct to Manila for another ADT event. He doesn't want to lose his ranking in the Asian Tour. And then he flies direct to Rio. He asked me to convey to Yang Mulya Tunku Imran that will not affect his training in Rio. So I hope you forgive him if he comes a bit late. So ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say, and I would like to thank most profusely for the comments of Paul Gibbons on my role. As I know, I regard my role as chairman of PGM not as a role for me to gain fame and recognition, but mainly given to me as a position of trust given to me. I would like to believe that, unlike many organizations, PGM concentrates on actions, and we are not a warrior of words. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
Sure. You're there on the first day of the competition, teeing off. Then we can call you Olympians. It's a very strict rule, by the way, of the IOC. So the master of ceremonies, they are potential Olympians, but until they hit that first ball, they're not an Olympian. But anyway, it's a great pleasure to be here this morning. As Toon said, it was a really exciting day in 2009 in Copenhagen, when they announced the two sports, and two of my favorite sports, rugby and golf, to be part of the 2016 Olympics. And this was really a major breakthrough for the IOC. And for our two athletes, and four athletes, really it's a huge opportunity, because it's over 100 years since there's been a last Olympics. PGM and those that are running the golf here in Malaysia, really you're very clever in looking at how you're going to qualify for the Olympics. And I think many countries did not realize that the way the competitions are structured in the IOC, it's very clearly that you have to have universality. So therefore, all the 5 regions of the Olympics have got to have some representation. Countries cannot have more than a number of athletes in any event. So already, the field was being cut down, and I'm so glad that we have some great strategists here in Malaysia, under your guidance. And I was speaking to the Philippines. We just had the Southeast Asian Games Federation meeting just recently, and amongst all the Southeast Asian nations, we had the most qualifiers, and Thailand. Singapore had none. Philippines had one girl, one boy. I mean, they would say, how did you do it? And I said, I'm not quite sure, but I must ask our golf associations and management, because I think that was, you really did a great job. So for the athletes, this is the opportunity You're 4 in 120 golfers. You know, it's a golf course which few of the top pros have really played on. So and even I think the Brazilians not quite sure what it plays like. You know, it's an open field, quite honestly. And I think the important thing is go out, enjoy yourselves, and just say, yep, this is the opportunity to get on that world stage. Because the Olympics only happens once every 4 years. There is a guarantee that the next Olympics you will have golf, but it's not confirmed for 2024, and because there's a big review going on in the IOC on the sports program. I am elated that golf is in the Olympics. The only unfortunate thing was it was at the expense of my favorite sport, squash, which came third in that voting, and it's come third every time we've had a vote, unfortunately, whenever any two sports have come in, but c'est la vie. But golf, of course, is a great game. For Malaysian golf, I think we should look at this as a first step of seeing ourselves on the international stage in terms of professional golf. And I'd like to congratulate PGM on what they've done over the last few years under the leadership of Tun, and let it go forward. And I think it's important that we both nurture the male and the females here. I know many of you will say, you're only saying that because if I walk out this room without mentioning Malta, my sister will kill me. But I've always supported male and female golfers through Sport Excel. Many of you have come through the Sport Excel circuit, and in some sports the girls have done better than the boys, and in some sports the boys have done better than the girls. But I think in this country now we must give both sexes, genders, the opportunity to really excel. And I hope that we will do that over the years. But what a good start for Malaysian professional golf. Let's see this as the beginning of really great things to come. Well done, PGM. Well done, you potential Olympians. Let's hope that you come back, with your heads high at least, and maybe, we don't know, maybe a medal or two. Thank you very much.
I think it's a very proud moment for me to be represent Malaysia for the Olympic, and this is different compared to, I played many events like SEA Games, World Cup, British Open, but I think this is just something different that it's only happened once in every 4 years, and also after I think it's about 100 years, golf has been absent from Olympic and it's back to Olympic again, and Malaysia have the full 4 players to play in the Olympic. I think this is something that that I think I feel very proud of to be part of.
Michelle, would you like to comment?
Yes. There's nothing more exciting than to actually carry the flag on your shoulder. Well, in our case, on our chest, on the sleeve. So I'm very excited to go out there to be able to represent Malaysia. In the biggest game, and it means a lot to me, a lot to my family, because a couple of years ago it was only a dream goal. We were only looking at the Olympics as a kind of like a goal, something that's achievable, but we were not very sure. So the fact that I'm actually playing the Olympics now, it's very exciting.
Shivadas from Golf Malaysia. This is a question for Thun and Tan Sri Asma. This road to Olympics, is it going to be an ongoing thing, given the fact that we are looking at Olympics in the future?
Thank you for the question, Chief. Just now we heard Yang Mulia Tan Sri Indran we mentioned that golf would be an event in the 2020 Olympics. So we will continue with this program, probably choose a larger pool of golfers, since we got 4 years from after this Olympics, and we would have to find the sponsors and learn from the experience that we have had with MST, try to improve. And certainly our key KPI would be to send the same number of golfers for the 2020 Olympics. The answer is yes.
You want to know whether we'll continue with this program. I think when Thun and PGM presented this program to us, we were very impressed with the way it is going to be structured and organized, and that's why I was able to convince our board that we should support this program. And we're very happy that we have produced the success that we expected. For the future, I myself would like to see UNW continuing to support the program. Let me explain a little bit about golf and why. Because a lot of people ask me why UNW goes for golf. And I think golf has a lot of the characteristics that we are trying to impart to our people in UNW. Golf is a game where you can play right up to old age. And yesterday, those of you who watched the British Open will see a 46-year-old man playing much better than younger people like Jordan Spieth, who's 21 years old. On any given day, at a certain age, you can play better than people younger than you. But more important, I think, golfers, if they're serious golfers, they continuously try to improve themselves, even as they get older. Some of them will do physical exercises like stretching themselves or running and keeping fit. And there are those who go to golf shops and look at equipment to see whether they could play better with equipment. So the idea of improving themselves never is continuous. We work in UMW a lot with the Japanese, and they have this concept of Kaizen, which is continuously improving yourselves. Never to be satisfied, and always trying to improve your productivity, cutting costs and all this. And I think golf, I'm glad a lot of people in UMW play golf, and I hope they have that kind of spirit to continuously improve themselves at work and at their golf. So I would like to continue supporting this program, and I hope I can convince my board to do so.
Next question, please.
This is Malkit from Golf Magazine. I have questions for Danny and Michelle. Do you have any fears of Zika and the security in Brazil, in Rio?
Michelle?
Not so much. I suppose we're actually very exposed to the mosquitoes here, especially for us golfers being spending so much time in the outdoors, spending so much time, hopefully not near the lalangs, but still, even sometimes. So no, not really.
I don't care if they're having a World War III there. I'm going. This is Olympic.
I think it's important for me to answer this one because it's Zika and the security has always been uppermost in our minds. not only in the Olympic Council but also in the IOC, because obviously the athletes are what the Olympics are all about. First thing, Zika. Zika, as you know, it's like dengue. It's borne by the same mosquito as the dengue mosquito, and of course, the precautions have got to be taken. We've given, in fact, 2 sets of protection for our athletes, but there is one protocol that we are going to have for athletes and officials going to Rio, and that is a blood test before going to Rio, and a blood test coming after Rio. Before going to Rio, of course, that's it, to check what your blood profile is, and then when you come back, you have one in order to clear you that you're not carrying the Zika virus. The security, well, South Africa very successfully did the World Cup football in 2010. Everyone said that it was the most dangerous, country in Africa, etc., and there were no incidences. I was there in 2014 for the World Cup football in South America, in Rio. There were no issues, no problem, one felt very safe. In this run-up to the Olympics, I think the media, and many of you are here, the media really don't have an opportunity to do, to ask too many questions, because a lot of the top athletes are hiding, themselves in training. They don't want to let other people know what they're doing. So there's, all these negative, articles do come up. I mean, we are hosting the SEA Games next year in Kuala Lumpur. So clearly, I can imagine the Southeast Asian media, because we're not telling them very much what our athletes are doing, and as we get closer, we don't want to let them know about what the preparations are, what's going to happen in the opening ceremony. They'll be writing things like, of course, Malaysia's got dengue. Is it safe to go? Or someone got mugged in Bangsa. The handbag was snatched. Is it safe for our athletes? And all these things will go on. But I can assure you, particularly the 2 athletes sitting here, that between the Brazilian authorities, the IOC, every possible protection in terms of health as well as security will be there for the athletes and all the officials and all the visitors visiting Brazil. And the most important thing for both of you is to enjoy yourselves while you're there, because I'm sure if you're enjoying yourselves, you're going to play much, much better. Every athlete is every international athlete actually in every sport is subject to a WADA dope test if WADA decide to do it out of competition testing. The Malaysian team, the Malaysian contingent, we will test every athlete that is going to Brazil, for dope. And that's the sort of screening that we would go on. That's mainly for our benefit and for Malaysia's benefit, that we don't get embarrassed by any particular athlete that is there. But once they are there in Brazil, they are subject to the authorities within Brazil, and it's up to each, to the testing, the management there, to decide who they're going to test. There will be random tests, and I'm sure that, certainly the winners will get tested, that's for sure. I know there's all these things going on about Russia and China, but I mean, that's almost like a different league to us in terms of what's going on. So that's something really big, but we can't comment on that. But within Malaysia, we have our own Malaysian tests, and then they'll be subject to the IOC's regime.
My first target, I think, is to try to go there and enjoy myself, enjoy the atmosphere of Olympic. I think that's the only way for me to perform at my best. I mean, of course, I would like to have a medal to come back with. But I will go there and give it all my best, and then whatever is the result, I'll be happy with it.
Just the same as what Danny said. I'm going to go there, going to enjoy myself, and I'm going to give it my best, give it all I've got, and hopefully come back with a medal. In terms of training, I've put a little bit more of my practice focused on my mental game. I've been working a lot with our pro line from MST, working on trying to calm the mind down and how to manage different situations and keeping the mind calm and breathing and that kind of thing. So I put a little bit more focus onto that, but in terms of training, it's more or less the same.
I think for me, it's just been playing a lot of tournaments. Been quite busy with the last couple of months with tournament. I think this whole week I was spend a lot of time with my coach Steven Giuliano to work on my game a little bit. And I mean, because of the schedule, been so busy, I haven't seen him for over I think a month and a half already. So this week I just going to spend a lot of time with Steven to work on my game.
I would just like to direct my inquiry to the IOC, the Malaysian Olympic Council. Just in a nutshell, can you just give us an idea who the 4 golfers will be going to Rio with, i.e. like the Malaysian team? Just really briefly, because golf is not the only sport. So thank you.
On the other side, apart from the 4 golfers that you see up there, the lovely photographs, by the way. We have 32 athletes in all going to the Olympics. A full contingent of badminton, 8 badminton players. In all the events, we'll have a competitor. We have 6 divers. Diving in Malaysia has become a very good sport, and we have a lot of very good qualifiers. And in fact, our first diving medal was under Tun when he was chef de mission in London. If you remember, Pandit Leela got a bronze medal. And all of us in the 10 meters, a lot of us missed it because it was so unexpected. It was only in the last round that she came through. Anyway, that was the history. Others are, we have 2 cyclists, 1 world-class cyclist, Azizul Hasni, who if he gets to the final of his favorite event, Keirin, has a chance, because in Keirin, it's only 6 riders in the final, so it's important for him to get to the final. I think for him the battle will be trying to get to the final, but once he's in the final, then it's anybody's race really. And then we have archers. We have an archery team, 4 archers with number 1. Khairul Zaman is a world-class ranked archer. We have a shooter, we have 2 athletes running, we have 2 swimmers, and 1 sort of open water swimmer, and other athletes. Some of them are wild cards, but our main chances from Malaysia will be badminton, diving, archery, and of course golf. Because we have a 2 in 60 chance in the women's golf and 2 in 60 chance in the men's golf. If you talk about odds.
Given the announcement today Is it going to be 150%?
I think the contribution that I made to PGM is nothing compared to the enthusiasm of the golfers. Without the golfers, there would be no PGM. And I noticed from the 5 years that I've been at the helm of PGM, the professional golfers who are PGM tour card holders have diligently participated in our tours, adhered to the rules and regulations very well, and there's always been this positive response from them. And I do hope that there will be a larger pool of professional golfers playing our tour, and we are going to enhance the PGM qualifying tours next year to enable more golfers to enter the elite squad who will be participating in the PGM tour. So I must say thanks to the golfers and the support of the sponsors. Without the sponsors, there would be no PGM tour. So the sponsors play a great role in this. And last but not least, to my very professional members of the board of directors of PGM, coming from the private sector, from MSN, Maya is representative of the professional golfers. So all add up towards the success of PGM. Thank you.
About control, or you're talking about counseling and assisting them?
Well, essentially, counseling is the priority. The control, we know what you guys do, but you're not the only ones that do that. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about control. I think, and the athletes and officials must know this. There's some very strict controls within the game during the games on social media because of the what's happened in the past. So I just firstly counsel the athletes to read all the rules regarding that. For instance, you can't sort of talk about your sponsors over the tweeting, and you can't make racist remarks. There's a whole protocol there in terms of athletes and social media, which during the games is very important because we don't want them sent home. But generally, I think we would leave it to each sport, each coach, each team manager to really decide how much you really want to control or counsel your athletes. But what I have noticed is in some sports, and golf is one, athletes are very, very good with media. You saw the two video presentations we had from Gavin and Kelly, and I think golfers tend to speak very well because I think they're used to. Some of our other sports, sometimes it's even better not to say anything because they really don't know what to say, or they say a lot of rubbish. So anyway, so we leave it to each manager, each coach to decide how they like to play. But generally, I think it is important for each coach as they bring up, and we're trying to do this in Sport Excel, by the way, in junior, that we're trying to get now all the athletes to go through an opportunity to be able to speak to public, to speak to media, and so that when they get older, they'll gain confidence. And I think that's very important in young athletes because I found one of Malaysia's biggest problems when we get onto the international stage from some of our athletes in the past, and when it gets to So when it gets to that mental edge, often it's that lack of self-confidence which they have, which can often let them down. So I'd like to see really Malaysian athletes be much more outward, be very free, liberal in what they say, but controlled, and therefore through that process really get quite a lot of burden off their back in terms of the sensitivity, the tightness of the feeling, and let them get more relaxed. And I can't say that, I always say that over and over again, athletes have to be relaxed if they're going to win. We all know about choking and everything. That's because one gets too organized. But yeah, I'm not the one to ask. The man to ask is Stuart Jim sitting at the back. I mean, there he is smiling away, and he's the one to ask me. Thank you. Now, it's interesting you asked the OIC. That is the Organization of Islamic Countries, which I can't speak too much for. Although I must say I'm the director of ISIS, which is the Institute of International Studies. But I think even IOC, International Olympic Committee, of course, it's part of the security thing, and I think Tun will agree that in London, the security was very, very tight, but also it wasn't, overbearing. And I think, both the Brazilian authorities, the IOC, obviously, were very, very committed to security, and this type of threat is obviously one of the areas which they're looking out for.
Thank you. One more question?
As for me, I have a little more preparation to do because I will be going for my second year for the LPGA Field School. So I will be practicing before, and the tournament will be, Q School will be right after the Olympics. So unfortunately, I wouldn't have much time to spare, although I would love to.
My first priority over there will be doing a lot of preparation on a golf course. I think if I can find the spare time to do so, I'll probably try to watch the track and field.